Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Global Domination. In case you missed, what was that? 2 weeks ago, because last week was the 4th on Thursday, so we didn't have an episode last week. But 2 weeks ago, I introduced this amazing, awesome man that I get to call business partner these days, Jason Caraway. And what we're doing is really bringing our knowledge of 20 plus years each in this business, 40 years of real estate knowledge, and bringing it to every real estate agent out there that has that dream or ambition or wants to attempt to sell global real estate, which is what we get to do every single day. So welcome back to Global Domination. My co-host, Jason Caraway, not only realtor or real estate broker extraordinaire, but developer builder of island projects in and throughout the Caribbean. Now, come on, builders. Think about that, Jason. These other builders out there are like, whoa, how did you get to do that? So let's tell them about that in case they missed the first episode.
Sure. Yeah. We, as you mentioned, thanks for having me back, by the way. That means I didn't bomb too bad the first go.
You're here for the long haul, man.
I love it. So I do appreciate getting to work with you on all this stuff. So thank you. I guess the 1,000-yard view or quick summary is that I've spent most of my entire career in brokerage and development. I started in real estate in college here in Texas. And, started as a real estate assistant, trying to just figure out something to do in school. And that quickly evolved into my license, and then transitioning from residential, realizing that really wasn't my thing. Moved on towards developing and building spec homes and developing some subdivisions and moving on through commercial and things like that. Found myself in senior care during the big senior care boom. And my wife and I built a company over about a 13-year period. We developed and managed Alzheimer's care facilities, assisted livings, built some nursing homes and consulted in that space for a good while, and exited a few years back. And we've spent a lot of time in the Caribbean. I'm a total beach bum at heart. Love boats, beaches, and the tropics, and spend every spare minute dragging our kids around through all these places. And that's just our happy place. And so as I moved out of senior care, wanted to transition into something, I'm always looking, I can't sit still. So anytime I'm somewhere, I'm trying to figure out how to incorporate some kind of work that goes along with it. And so I thought, man, if there's a way I could bind where I love to be with what I love to do, that would be a picture perfect thing. And so that's how Island Sky Investments came together. That's how these new partnerships have come together. And that's how our Caribbean developments have come together. So I just feel really blessed and excited to get to wake up and talk about and do this every day.
And me too, because, one of the things, me too, getting started, right out of college in real estate, we're always taught, master your market, master, a farming zone, so to speak. And that might be the city you live in. Maybe it's the suburbs that surround it. Maybe it's a handful of counties. And, and I did that, we did that. We both did that. But I knew that there's this whole world out there that if I can sell real estate, which is really helping clients problem solve, helping them find ultimately what makes them happy, right? Mm-hmm. Then why can't you take that exact same concept, start with the sphere of influence you've already built, and say to them, are you ready for that second home or that investment property or this, whatever? And that's how we get to expand outside of what we're taught necessarily in real estate school or that first broker we ever associated with. And so how Jason and I met and why we're so excited about this is because even though I've sold global real estate in several different countries, there's something that I hadn't done. And it was just a handful of months ago where I was with some clients of mine in a development that I'm developing. And they said to me, well, Stephanie, while you're building our house, this week, we're going to be in our Montana home. Next week after that, we're going to be in our Maui home. And the next month, we're going to be in our Naples home. And these people are, mid 40s. They're my age. And I'm thinking, what do you do? I'm building them a $2.5 million house, and I just have to know, what do you do to have all these additional homes? And they said, Stephanie, we don't own 100% of all those homes. We bought fractional parts of the deed, which means we get to use them periodically throughout the year, but we don't have the entire whole price that we have to pay. We don't have 100% of the problems of having to manage that property. And I'm just like, wait a minute, I need to look more into what is this fractional real estate light bulb moment, because I look at myself and I look at my own situation. I still have kids in school. So could I afford to go find and buy a vacation home? Sure, but I won't, because I can't justify spending $2.5 million on a home I might only get to use 4 weeks out of the year because I've got kids in school, right? And so we'd only be able to go spring break, maybe a few weeks in the summer because they're playing sports, so we can't leave all summer, and maybe some time at Christmas. But then you've got, so you don't justify it. And so I really got interested in this fractional ownership. And lo and behold, that's what led me to Mr. Jason Caraway here, who is developing Island Sky St. John, which is 10 condominiums. Now, let's talk about this.
Sure.
We talked about this earlier. To buy a decent, mediocre condo home overlooking the Caribbean Ocean in St. John, U.S. Virgin Islands, is going to run you how much?
You're 1.4 to 1.8.
1.4 million, 1.8 million.
Yeah, and there are very few options, honestly, that are oceanfront. I mean, you have some beautiful villas that are oceanfront, but those continue well up above 2 million. But in terms of condos, you really don't have that much availability on St. John in terms of what we're offering.
And the really cool thing that I love about St. John is when I go away. Look, we and all real estate agents do this. We work, we hustle, we're 24/7. And when we finally get that chance to go away, we want to relax. We want to lay by on the beach. We want to swim in the pool. We want to have some drinks and not work. We want to slow down. That's really the truth. We want to slow down. And so that's what I love about St. John, because the island, it is an island, and the island is 90% protected national forest. Am I right?
It's roughly about it's between 65 to 70% national park.
So okay.
And that was donated by Lawrence Rockefeller back in 1958, and he came and discovered this beautiful place, and so he bought up a big lot of it along with another friend of his, and over time, he put it in the Land Conservancy and then donated that to the federal government. So St. John is pristine for a reason. It will never be overdeveloped. It will never be overbuilt. And it's never going to be what I love St. Thomas, but it's very developed. It's commercialized. It has all those things, and there's some benefits to that. But St. John is pristine, and it's quiet, and it's quaint, and it's protected, and it's always going to be like that. So that's one of the things that makes it a really special place over there.
Which is also why it makes it sometimes unattainable to enjoy owning property there, because there's not new development going on. There's very little that can ever happen.
Mm-hmm.
And, you do find homes and condos for sale, but they might be 15, 20 years old. They might need a lot of work when I look online at the listings and from when the times that I've been there. And so here you are with a beautiful piece of land that you're able to put up condominiums that are they're under construction as we speak, brand spanking new, top-notch finishes, exactly what people want. And we're doing fractional sales because it makes sense for people like myself. It makes sense because maybe I go and spend 3, 4, or 8 weeks there every year. but I can do this, be an owner for as little as $190,000
Mhm, mhm. Where else can you go do
overlooking.
that? Yeah, overlooking the Caribbean Sea. So that's a really it's a great opportunity, but it's a small opportunity. Not many people get to do that. And it's
That's right.
not much availability when it comes to St. John in that respect. Um, but to your point earlier is that the average second home is used about 4 weeks out of the year. And so if to be able to justify buying an entire piece of property that St. John is still US territory, but it's not stateside. So there are a lot of logistics that go into being able to set your schedule, your calendars, your kids' school, that all the sports, everything that goes into being able to go and take a trip like that, even to be able to get away for 4 weeks out of the year.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people get to do that. And so it's hard to justify to go in and buy that full piece of property that you get with that. You get all the benefits of the full ownership, but like you said, you get all the full cost of owning that property that goes with it. You get all the responsibility of figuring out how are you going to offset the cost throughout the rest of the year of the other 48 weeks out of the year that you're not using that property. And a lot of people say, well, maybe I'll just rent it out. And until you've gone down that road, especially in a somewhat foreign location, there's a level of difficulty that comes along with that. It's not easy as what it looks like on paper always. So with the Residence Club there at Island Sky, you have this really cool opportunity to come in and for under 200,000 can get into one of these condos in a 1/10 ownership. And then when you're ready to go, you show up to your property and it's managed by a extremely reputable management company that specializes in fractional ownership. As a matter of fact, they really pioneered fractional ownership, and that's Elite Alliance, that we've talked
Yes.
about as our strategic partner. They manage over 120 properties around the world, so they're really good at the fractional space. They're the best. And so when you show up, your property is in perfect condition. You don't have to worry about light bulbs are out or the grass needs mowed or let's deal with the maintenance outside. You get to go and just enjoy your property.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's the benefit there too, because you know, it's it's very different. I know people are watching and saying, wait a minute, are they talking about a timeshare? No. Timeshare is where you buy a slot of time. Fractional, you're actually getting the equity position in the property. Jason, I love how you explain the difference between the two. Please do.
Yeah, sure. And I love this is one of my favorite parts because fractional ownership has been around for a long time, but it's a new concept to a lot of people. But if you spend even 5 minutes a week reading or looking into real estate, you've heard the term fractional real estate recently because it is emerging as into the mainstream of real estate. And I think ever since COVID, people have this new adjusted outlook on real estate, how they want to live their lives, their flexibility with their jobs in a lot of cases. There's so much remote working going on. And even with, I would say, especially with the younger folks coming up, they have a much different outlook on real estate and ownership and all these different things. They're not so interested in being tied to one area all the time. They want to go and adventure, like to your story earlier with your clients. They want to venture out and they want to see all these different places, but they're still smart enough to know that there's a lot of upside to owning real estate.
That's
Well,
right.
why not go own real estate in 4 or 5 different locations and be able to enjoy those different locations? Um, but the thing with fractional real estate versus a timeshare is the bottom line essence of it is a timeshare is a situation where you're buying the right to use a location or a unit or an interest in a property for a certain amount of time every year. There's no ownership advantages that go with it. There's no none of the tax benefits that go along with it. There are none of the benefits that go along with owning traditional real estate. Whereas fractional real estate, it is a true deeded ownership in a piece of property. And again, whether it's a 1/8 ownership or a 1/10 ownership, you own that percentage ownership in that property, and those expenses and any revenue that's generated from those units, that's broken up amongst the owners. And so it's truly it's a shared ownership model with a true deeded ownership that goes along with it, and all the benefits that come along with owning real estate.
Yeah, and the ability to sell it in the event that you need to exit it,
Yeah,
and hopefully, gain in on that appreciation, because we all know real estate is primarily safe, especially in a secluded place and limited development place of St. John. You
right.
know, one of my friends reached out to me this morning, actually, and they were like, how are you all doing this? Because they're seeing, through social media and so forth, because they're like, is it 190,000 every year? And I'm like, no, it's one time. It's one time. If you go buy a house today and pay $1 million, you buy it once. Now, what you pay every year is the maintenance of that property. But here's what I love about this is you're on an island. So everybody thinks, okay, you're on an island, you've got insurance, you've got property taxes, you've got just generalized maintenance of the building, ever so many years. They want to freshen up those condos because these are being sold fully furnished too. Like there's no having to go out and shop for anything. I mean, it's you bring yourselves, you bring your clothes, and that's it. That's
That's it.
it. I mean, everything else is provided there, even down to the towels, you all. So what's great about that is you think about how many clients, and this is you realtors, how many clients and how many people in your sphere of influence would love for you to reach out to them and share with them an opportunity like this, because they may not see it. And look, we all have databases, right? You're not in this business without building a database. What a great conversation starter and way to follow up and keep in touch with your past clients and your sphere of influence by saying, hey, I saw this and I thought of you. Because what this is about is exactly what we're calling it. It's global domination. You, as a real estate professional, can receive referring cooperating commission
Mhm.
from selling or bringing us, your client, to buy at Island Sky. So I love this because I live this business every single day. I love sitting at this computer, meeting people, doing my listing presentations, doing my sales. The sales we've made at Island Sky so far have been through Zoom. I've
Mhm.
spent no gas. I've not driven anywhere. We're meeting people all over the country that are looking to become owners there and residents there. And what's great about that, you all, is it gives you another opportunity to earn revenue today. It doesn't matter what brokerage you're at, but that's what we teach people to do. That's what Jason and I have this mission of. It's not hard at all. And referral fees are a real thing. And we want to give you 3% of the sales price in referral commission for you to introduce this to your clients.
Mhm.
I mean, that's just, think about it. So when you start looking at who you are and who you want to become, as an agent, what is that next step in your business plan? Here's another opportunity that you probably never thought you could add in it, but you absolutely can. Because it's one thing to say you sell in this city and in this state. It's a totally different thing when you say, I sell global real estate.
It does change the conversation with a lot of people. I'll tell you, it opens a lot of doors that I'll tell you, it interests people, right? Because it's different and
Yes.
it's exciting. And to me, selling real estate is just, I love real estate, right? I always have. I got a little bit tired of just the whole probably traditional brokerage game over time.
Yeah. Putting
You know,
people in your car and showing them houses around town. No.
yeah, that never worked. But even to like the local market, like I feel like I mean, I know, everybody knows these agents that are extremely successful, and but I think in time you can get a little bit of burnout,
Yeah.
and as you move outside of your local market, just really pump some excitement back in, and you start looking at these other opportunities you probably never thought you had before. And this is a great way. And I think we've structured it very fairly where we're paying cooperating agents 3% just to bring their clients in and let us do the close on it.
Let us do the sales pitch, let us do the contract, and then let us mail you or wire you the check. I mean,
Yeah.
I love that, especially in a day and age where there's so much going on out there, right? There's so much going on, with the way business is going to change a little bit for realtors come August 18th. And I think you don't cut yourself off from expanding and scaling your business, right? There's these opportunities, like Island Sky St. John is going to be one of many, many more.
Right. Sure.
That you're going to be developing and building. And so if you, as an agent, start these conversations, with your clients and they want to learn more, let us do that heavy lift. But also remember, there's going to be even more of these locations as we start to scale and Jason starts to scale Island Sky Investments.
Yeah, that's the exciting part, because Island Sky St. John was our first project under our banner, but we already have 2 or 3 new projects that are in different levels of development right now. So I'm really just biting my tongue because I'm excited to start talking about what's next.
I'm excited too.
So, and but yeah, we have some really great projects coming up behind St. John. But we just want people to tune in and learn, get more educated, and let us help you get more educated about fractional real estate, the benefits of fractional real estate. And it's kind of like that, when I forget the term, but let's just say you're shopping for a red car and you don't really pay attention to all these red cars. But when you start looking at a red car, all of a sudden you see this car running around everywhere. And fractional real estate is the same way. I mean, if you take a little time and read about it, you're going to realize that this is starting to pop up everywhere. We just happen to be on the forefront of it right now. We just happen to be, we're kind of early on the front end of it. So we're going to be able to position ourselves as real leaders in this space.
And that's exactly what we're doing. Yes.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. So we want to bring in as many other brokers and agents as we can to help be a part of that educational process. And so it just opens up your ability to sell more product and offer different things to your clients. I think it's a huge benefit to people. So
absolutely a huge benefit. And, you've got to think about the way that, I'm going to be selfish for a minute, but a couple years back, right before COVID, so more than a couple years back, we were looking at buying a home in Florida, and I wouldn't do it. I told my husband, look, we're not going to be able to enjoy it. I'm not spending $1.2 million on this property. Well, 18 months later, and that house sold for $2.8 million. I mean, it just exploded. Yeah. And I was like, man, why didn't I do that? Even if I didn't spend time on, but who knows, right? You can't make every decision, based on what might happen. Mm-hmm. But my point to that is real estate's getting more and more expensive. I mean, ground is getting more expensive. The cost to build is getting more and more expensive. And what I love too about fractional ownership is it gives more people the ability to go out and enjoy life because they deserve to enjoy life too. You don't need millions of dollars to have that second and third location to go enjoy. And so I get just as excited. I just had a message from a real estate agent that's watching this saying, can we buy too? Absolutely. Yes, you as agents can buy and we'll give you the 3% cooperating commission. I love that.
And to come on board and be an owner with us at Island Sky, for sure.
Absolutely. Yes. We'll get a testimonial and send that out on your behalf to your entire database. But it does go back to that point of, this makes a luxury condominium, brand spanking new, overlooking the Caribbean, affordable.
It does. And you know what? Maybe it'll help. If you don't mind, I'll run through kind of A to Z on the project and to give a real clear overview. So, and we probably should have done this at the first, but Island Sky Residence Club, for those of you who haven't seen it, it's a luxury boutique condominium development in St. John, U.S. Virgin Islands. So it's U.S. territory, which means you do not need a passport. It's a beautiful 20 square mile island for those of you who haven't been to St. John, with about 4,000 residents there. We call it the country of the Caribbean because it's like a country town. You get to know everybody very quickly. It's just a very beautiful, welcoming place. And the project itself, the first phase is 10 units. We have a mix of 1 and 2 bedroom units, and each of the units they are being sold in a 1/10 ownership. So that's the fractional piece where it comes in. So we have a total of 100 segments to be purchased, while some of which have already been sold. So along with that, with your purchase, you come in and we are partnered with a company called Elite Alliance. They've been doing fractional real estate for 30 years, and they bring a high level of expertise when it comes to managing really nice facilities. They manage a lot of resorts that you all will be very familiar with, but very good at what they do. So they come in, they manage this property from A to Z, and it's an equity residence club. And what that means is, for the owners, is that the owners are actually in full charge of every decision that's made at this location in this property. So the owners have full control of everything related from the dues to the budget. Every decision made about that property has to run through the owners and the HOA, which is built from the owners. So whereas a lot of developments, the developer comes in, builds this property, people come in and buy, and they start at a certain level of their yearly or quarterly assessments. And inadvertently, the developer just has the option typically to come in and say, well, this is where we started, but it's really not working now. So we need to up our dues 30, 40%. And the owners really don't have any say so as to that. And I've never liked that.
Yeah.
And that's not the case here, because all those budgeting things have to run through and be approved by the owners. I mean, the owners control the property. That's why it's called an equity residence club. It's at full discernment of the owners and the buyers. So I love that piece of it. Elite manages it. And as part of the purchase, you also get to participate in the Elite Alliance Exchange Program, which is, I think, a huge, right? And so what that means is Elite Alliance, with this portfolio of properties that they manage, as they do and will with Island Sky, you can utilize some of the time that you have designated with Island Sky, and you can say, you know what, I'd like to go to Aspen for a week this year, or I'd like to go to one of these other locations that they have. And again, there's 120 locations around the world. So you have the option to not only spend time in the place where you actually have deeded ownership, but go and adventure out into some of these other places. Like, I guarantee you're probably gonna want to end up buying at another location.
That's
And
right.
so, but even if you didn't, it doesn't matter, because you have access to all these other locations in the exchange. And I really like that piece of it. And again, it gives you a peace of mind, because you know that, maybe you can go out and spend $1.8 million on a condo. Just doesn't mean it's the right thing to do, that you want to deploy that capital in that one
Right.
location, all of that. Leave your money flexible to use in other investments and things like that. And you've got a fraction, you've got 1/10 of that invested in this beautiful location, that now your investment, guess what? It actually really reflects properly the amount of time that you're going to be able to spend and enjoy at this property. It's not offset to where you have 10 times the amount of money of what you can spend time wise at this property. So I think there are so many benefits to it. I mean, otherwise we wouldn't be doing these types of developments. I really believe in fractional ownership, and I think it's going to be, I think it's going to just be such a mainstream part of real estate.
It is.
Headed that direction.
And very few real estate professionals know anything about fractional. There's no training course on it, which is what we're working on building, is this training mechanism so that people understand that, look, this is another way for you all to do business and to do it globally, do it across the United States. That's the beauty of this. And, I love, because what Jason said about the Elite Alliance Exchange is so beneficial, because while Island Sky is under construction, and we've already had this happen where we've sold one and they immediately get enrolled in the Elite Alliance Exchange. So even though Island Sky is not ready for them to go and spend the week yet, or 3 weeks, but they are already going to other Elite Alliance properties in 120 plus destinations and using that benefit while Jason gets the building up and going. So that's a huge opportunity right there too. There's a lot of tax incentives when it comes to fractional ownership that we've also uncovered. And so if you've got clients looking for a corporate tax benefit, a personal tax benefit, a legacy tax benefit, this is another option there too, because not everybody wants to get involved in buying commercial or multifamily property and having that management experience and renters and things like that. Not everybody wants that. And so we've got information that we can share with you if you've got clients that are looking specifically for that, especially clients with corporations that want to send their employees, this be that opportunity for them to give bonus structures with vacations and so forth, and it's a property too that's wonderful for a corporation to own, because again, the management is handled by Elite Alliance and nobody has to fight over who's calling the cleaning lady or who's getting the grass mowed, right? Or who's paying the water bill. I mean, literally, there's none of that, none of that necessary, none of that to even worry about. So, with Island Sky, we've got a lot of things down in the comments. One, islandskystjohn.com. That is the website on this property that you can take a look at. You can share with your clients. We've also got 2 ways for you to register. There's a link in the chat on the social media that you're viewing this from, or you can go to globaldomination.live and register. If you register as an agent, we're going to make sure to stock you up on everything you need to share out to your sphere of influence, your clients and your past clients. If you want social media content to where we provide it to you, and then you go and blast this on your Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you want to do to drum up additional business and to drum up additional conversation, we're going to provide that for you. It'll be completely unbranded. So this looks like it is your property to sell. That's what it's all about here. Look, we figured it out a long time ago. Jason and I, we are both real estate brokers. We've been in the business 20 plus years each, and we love working with other real estate professionals. And more importantly, we love being able to show you how easy it is for you to sell real estate globally and not worry about tripping over that listing with that other agent that lives down the street from you, because this is how you win in life, right, Jason?
Absolutely.
And it's so much fun. What a tax write-off.
Yeah, I love that. I love that thing that being able to write this purchase off completely 100%. I mean, that was brilliant. And so
it is brilliant. And, and I love it, going back to the text message that I got from the agent watching saying, can I buy one? Yes. And you can write this off. I mean, here's the thing. We're not going to get in trouble with the IRS, but we have got an enrolled agent that wrote 3 different tax plans to show you and your clients exactly how you can do this. And us being real estate professionals, I'm telling you right now, it is a perfect investment for us to do as well. Because if you're going to bring us, 10, 12, 20, 30 buyers, you can afford to buy one anyway, but also get 100% write-off on all this commission we're getting ready to pay you.
Absolutely.
Well, this was awesome, Jason. This is what Jason and I are doing. Every other Thursday, we're going to come back at the same time, the same link on the same social media, and we're going to expose you to more ways to sell global real estate. But in the meantime, we'd love to talk with you. If you want to have a sit down with Jason or myself or both of us, we are happy to have a conversation around how we too can better help you with your goals in real estate. That's what we're here to do. We're here to win. We're here to win in this profession, and we're here to make sure all the professionals in this profession win. Jason, any final words?
I just want to say thanks again. I love doing these, and we're going to be bringing a lot of different topics to you all out there. We're going to talk the Caribbean. We're going to talk development. We're going to talk investing. We're going to talk just all kind of fun topics revolved around real estate and some other good things. So please just keep tuning in. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Awesome, you all. All right. Well, don't forget to reach out to us. We want to arm you with all the content necessary for you to take this back to your clients and your past clients and your sphere of influence. And hey, win over some new clients with the information, because there's nothing better than a realtor who can walk in and say, I sell global real estate. Thank you all. See you next time. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you. See ya.